All right, so, uh, so this morning when I woke up, Sinister Cinema Reviews, Jason Smith from Sinister Cinema Reviews, he did the reviews on Ouija and Ouija Origin of Evil. And when I started watching his review for Ouija, he said he was trying to do more Mike Flanagan films. And he said that if he was going to do Origin of Evil, he had to do the first one. And I thought, well, I kind of want to watch Ouija Origin of Evil again because I like Mike Flanagan's direction. But I knew if I watched it, I'd have to do a review on it. Which means I have to go back and review the first one. So here we go, a review for Ouija, 2014, starring Olivia Cooke, Douglas Smith, Shelley Henning, and Lynn Shay is Paulina Zander. And this movie has a history with me. I bought it from Family Video for $4.99 before eventually trading it to a friend of mine. And then I bought the double pack when the new one came out. So I have them both. But this first one has never sit with me like it should. I was blown away by the second one. I can't believe that it was connected to this movie. Because this movie is just so problematical. It contradicts itself. So the first thing in the film shows a flashback of the two girls, doing the Ouija board when they were kids. But now you have Debbie, who's all grown up as like a senior in high school, played by Shelley Henning, and she's doing this Ouija board thing. And then her friend, the main character, Lane, she comes over and Debbie won't let her in the house, but she tells her that she has been using the Ouija board again. Now, this is later contradicted at some point, because later they say, well, when they talk about, the Ouija board, well, Debbie doesn't have a Ouija board. Actually, she just told you she has a Ouija board. So, yes. And then she's surprised when they find one in her house. Oh, she told you she had one. So the story we're presented with, and this is going to be my biggest problem with the film. So they find out the history of the house. There's a DZ. They connect with this ghost. I think it's Debbie, but it's not. It's DZ. And they find out that's actually Doris Zander. And Doris Zander has an older sister who's in a mental institution. Paulina Zander, played by Lynn Shay. From there, Lynn Shay tells her the story that it's the ghost of mother, that their mother was a mean and despicable person, and that it's the ghost of mother that's keeping Doris at bay, that's keeping her scared, so they have to burn mother's corpse and not burn mother's corpse. They have to go to they have to find Doris's body, which is in a secret room in the house. A room where she claims that their mom used to do her fortune telling, which we'll get to that when we get to the second one, because that's a plot hole that I'll talk about when we get to the second one. But they get down there, they undo the mouth, and then because someone died, they get mother is destroyed, so to speak. And because someone dies shortly after that, they think, oh, it didn't work. People are dying. People are still dying. Still dying. Now, here's my biggest problem. We are presented that mother is keeping Doris at bay, trying to stop them from cutting open the threads on her mouth, to stop them from freeing her spirit so that she doesn't kill anyone. And then we're led to believe it's a big deal when someone dies after this happens. The only problem is, people have been dying the entire damn movie. This whole thing with going after finding this, the body, cutting open the mouth, halfway through the film, people have died already. The friend already did the eyeball and head on the thing. And this is after Douglas Smith's character dies, and they're like, oh, my friend Pete, he died, so something must have went wrong. But people were dying before that. The ghostly stuff was haunting you, saying, hi, friend, before. So it's not like Doris was actually inhibited by Mother. She was still doing all this stuff, still killing people, and yet we're presented with the fact that she can't do this as long as Mother's around. And yes, everything that Paulina said was a lie because Doris is the evil one, not Mother. Mother was trying to protect them. Another thing that I don't like is that Lane is just, well, first of all, I always don't like it when they cast younger actresses to play the older sibling. Olivia Cooke is 27 years old. The actress playing her younger sister is 30. Now, they did it on Home Improvement. Randy was the middle child, and he was actually the oldest out of all three of them. But Jonathan Taylor Thomas was JTT, the man, But I don't like that. And it's just... And I know she's supposed to be the younger sister. I know that Sarah is the younger sister because Lane ridicules her for everything. Now, when Debbie dies that night, the next night, when they find out that Debbie dies, that very same night the day they find out, Sarah's going to go out with her boyfriend. And Lane's like, no, you can't do this. Not tonight. First of all, Debbie was your friend. Your friend, not hers. And she knew Debbie. Fine. But it may have affected her differently. Different people need to handle it in different ways. They don't just stay home and cry their eyes out like you, all right? And she does this twice, ridiculing her. Leave her alone. And she has the gall to bring up their mother. Mom's not here, so I have to do something. You don't need to be a bitch about it. That's for sure. Just let her live her life. By the end of the film, we presented that they're in better place, but come on. The deaths in this film aren't even that good either. You got, like I said, I mentioned the one where she's like flossing, and then it takes control of her, bops her head on the sink, and that's how they die. Or you have Douglas Smith dies off screen. The two major deaths in this are where Lane's boyfriend is killed in the pool has the pool cover over it, and it suffocates him. And then Debbie's hanging, which is sort of called back to in the prequel sequel. Yes. And, this movie is just, it's not good. It's not good. I watched it, so my story mentioned it in this movie. So, I was watching this, and I wasn't able to finish it before I went to visitation with my son. But I misunderstood a text message from my mom, so I was downstairs and actually finished this downstairs while waiting for her. Another thing I want to tell you, you watch this movie, don't watch this movie, but if you watch this movie, close the blinds. Because I had the blind living room open, and at a certain point, when it started getting to the spookiness, I couldn't see shit. I had to shut the blinds so I could see what the hell was going on. There's some atmosphere, but it's nothing compared to the sequel. And I don't know. There are several times where they reuse the same scene. Several times. There's just like 2 or 3 scenes of Lane watching a video of Debbie and crying over it. And there are exposition in there, because in one of the videos we find out how she found the Ouija board. It was already in the house, and they find out from their grandma, who knows this stuff, that they have to burn Doris's body and the Ouija board, and that's how they defeat her. And then Sarah's in danger, so Elaine decides to play the board, which you have the 3 rules. Don't play alone. Don't play in a graveyard, which there's dead bodies in that house they play in, so it's already a dead body, and you have to say goodbye. So Doris shows up. Elaine says, I'm playing, you have to play too, or something like that. And then she starts to break her arm, and she's surprised that this ghost is trying to kill her, trying to break her arm, but they end up throwing the body and the Ouija board in the fire and ending it. So you're thinking, how is there a sequel? Because it's a prequel. That's why I call it a prequel sequel, because it's a prequel, but they keep most of the continuity of this one, and there's a post-credit scene that leads up to this prequel, sequel, whatever. I don't know. I always thought, and here's an idea, obviously this made money, well, you could do an anthology of sequels with different Ouija boards, different ghosts, different kind of situations. You wouldn't need to have a continuation. You can end each one with them defeating the ghost. You know, you can have a worldly connection. Like, what if they're doing this and they see, kid claims ghost came from Ouija board, and so I have to go with one of them. You don't even have to have the cook come back. It could be Sarah. They say, oh, we defeated him by doing this. Or you can even have a phone conversation. You did what? Okay, they said, and I don't know, that's a cheap cop-out, so we don't see the characters, but I'm just saying. As it stands, though, Ouija is a disappointment of a movie. It's not as good as the first one by at all. We'll get to that one, but what is the score? I'll give it a 5. Because at least it's decently made, but there's a whole bunch of problems and it just doesn't work for me. So it gets a 5 out of 10. So what are your thoughts on Ouija? Let me know in the comments below. Make sure to like, share, and subscribe. Thank you for watching. I've been Scotty. See you in the next one.